How do you keep your Amazon business, your Amazon channel grow smoothly and flow and have some type of sense of rhythm and kind of a consistent heartbeat, so to say, so you're set for long-term sustainable growth, and so you don't get drowned in overwhelm and frustration in business that it's so easy to do in an Amazon space. And today I'm going to talk through cadences of Amazon business. So you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a decision maker, can determine the right pulse, that you can set the right flow and the right structure, regardless of whether you do Amazon in-house or work with a partner like ourselves. My name is Irina Balyuko. I'm a partner at Red Rocks Ecommerce, and we help small businesses grow from zero to their first million on Amazon Marketplace. And today, in today's video, I'm going to lean heavy into my amateur musician side. So I play piano. I have played since I was little. I went through a rigorous Soviet Union type of musical education. So with very heavy classical music training. So I have a lot of sometimes interplay in my mind between music and business. I see a lot of correlations, and it's always fun to draw from one area to another. And so this is where my inspiration came, where sometimes the cadence in the right hand, right, the rhythm, not necessarily the beat, is going to be in the left hand, and they have to coexist and create beautiful music. And one is out of sync, you can hear it. So first of all, let's just define cadence. Cadence is rhythmic sequence of flow or of sounds in language, the grand cadence of his poetry. Second meaning, the beat, time, or measure of rhythmical motion or activity, steady cadence of drums. So even if you don't play an instrument, or you're not into listening to creating music, so you can kind of we're familiar with that just in any type of culture, right? So every music has to have some type of flow, some structure to be pleasing, right? And businesses also, we have cadences. We just have a lot less poetic words to use it, right? SOPs are cadences, goals are cadences, right? Checklists, planning, all of that flows into that. And Amazon is not an exception. So I'm going through what are the things that have their own cadence and rhythm and kind of a repeat rate, right? To make sure that you're not dropping anything on Amazon, that things are moving as smooth as they can, and you're moving towards your goals. Again, I'm a top-down thinker, so we're going to start with your annual frequency. That is really what are the things I should do annually? And as somebody who's already in the business, you may suspect it's really about, vision reset, vision creation, and kind of a macro planning. So we know that sometimes budgets are set annual, the strategic decisions are done, there is usually sometimes annual review, right, and setting tone for the next. So there's a very strategic, this is what I say, what are the things, right, that would fit on one piece of paper? So those are annual, right? If it doesn't fit, it means it's not really belonging type of annual conversation, right? It's really, I think, specifically in Amazon context is, the question that I often ask, well, what does Amazon mean to your business? How important is it, right? Because your level of consideration of its importance, is that area of priority or not, should determine your efforts, right? Or our efforts, right? So because I need to know how important, where does it fall in a bigger picture? So this, now that we're in December, coming up in January, usually we have conversations with a lot of brands. Hey, okay, we know we got to really tackle Amazon this year. So can you help us? And this is type of, your should come up if you've been thinking about it for 3-5 years, right? So if it's coming up again, this is your annual cadence of setting a vision. For Amazon, it could be revenue goals. It could be just saying, okay, Amazon is important. The bigger question, picture questions, objectives. So the second cadence is quarterly. This is more of a micro planning, and the theme here is micro planning and calibration. So annual plannings, annual reviews are critical, but the truth is sometimes it's really hard to say, you can plan as much as you want, but what your revenue going to be, or who's going to be on your team in 12 months, sometimes it's really hard to predict, because again, we're at the mercy of a lot of macro events like we have had with the COVID pandemic, right? So that's why I actually am a bigger fan of quarterly plannings than annuals, because then it kind of makes it feel you have a better grasp, and you can really get clear on I think it's easier to keep your attention focused on something so you can get it done in that shorter period of time. So we just, you probably have heard a phrase, people usually overestimate what they can do in 12 months, but underestimate what they can do in 3 months, right? So I'm looking at my notes here. So microplanning and kind of a calibration. So reviewing the tone of that, right? The tone of that music, of that cadences, reviewing the prior quarterly, which could be sales, right? Let's say specifically that was your sales, where our sales goals, what went well, what didn't, what marketing worked, what worked in kind of a, fulfillment, just kind of touching on the main pillars, and what is our promotional calendar for the upcoming month, what are our goals, do we have revenue goals, do we have any challenges we anticipate, and so on. So that is really an easier kind of a way to microplan and calibrate based on prior quarter results. So the cadence number 3, this is our monthly frequency. Theme is still calibration, but also implementation. The tone of that, the rhythm of that is really review of monthly performance KPIs, key performance indicators, right? You can, usually you have your sales, you have your P&L numbers, you have your ad numbers, you may have your own things depending on maybe what things you're focusing your Amazon business. But it's really adjustments that you need to make to your macro planning. So let's say if we plan for the quarter and we're month number 2 out of 3, and we are 60% towards our revenue goal. So how we're going to get that 40% in the last month? So it's really, how realistic is that? Do we need to adjust? So that is really adjustments and calibration to your micro quarterly planning. Okay. And also, I would say add specifically here inventory replenishments. Here, cadence for inventory replenishment could be different depending on, size of the business, depending on your lead time and so on. We like 4-6 weeks because it allows us to obviously not, run out of stock to replenish fast enough, but also not to accumulate where we have storage fees and then we go into excess inventory and so on. And so just monthly cadence for inventory replenishment kind of on the monthly basis. Cadence 4, and this is, the last one, which is daily. And the theme here is really maintenance pulse. Amazon is a space where you can't, unfortunately, just kind of let it be if you want to grow sales, I guess, right? So as long as you have some sales and you have intention of growing them and growing on Amazon, you have to have maintenance activities. So some of the things here, it's really kind of your daily checklist, right? Buyers' emails, notifications, addressing and following up on ad hoc issues, checking product pages. You don't have to check product pages daily, but some type of, sometimes there is issues that come up with larger catalogs enough that gives you enough for daily activity. So you can kind of adjust that, right? Obviously as you need, because I assume you have orders every day and messages every day, but if not, obviously that can be adjusted. But it's daily here, it's maintenance pulse, because notifications should be addressed promptly, and because you want to minimize any type of account health issues with Amazon. So when whether you are a solopreneur or a larger organization, and you happen to be responsible for Amazon, you're listening to this, you still have to have some, rhythm and structure, and which is why I kind of wanted to take this, do this video specifically about the cadences, right, of things that you do annually, you do quarterly, monthly, and daily. So you have, it helps you keep your sanity even in some ways, because then you have your kind of a, behavior set that are, you create your habits, behaviors that help you become successful, right? Because we are a product of our behaviors, and Amazon is not an exception. So it's expertise, but it's also glued to behaviors and how we show up and how consistently we show up on Amazon. So that is Cadences of Amazon Businesses. Hopefully this was helpful for you to kind of structure your Amazon life. And if you feel your Amazon business is in dissonance, I'm so bad with bad puns, so I love it. Dissonance, if you feel like it's in chaos, or maybe if it's in a minor tone instead of being a major and happy, then okay, I'll stop. Feel free to leave a comment, ask a question. You can find us at Red Rocks Ecommerce, and we'll talk soon.